What's going on YouTube? This is Karen with Elements to Elevate, and today we are bringing you a quick tutorial on how to use TradingView. Please remember to like, subscribe, share so this channel could get exposure, and we'll dive right into the video. So we have a lot of new students, and I think it's essential to know how to use TradingView because this is the platform that we use to look over and analyze our trades. And I'm basically going to be giving you a quick rundown of how you can get started with using TradingView. This is not where we place our trades. This is simply where we go to do our analyzing. So you're going to start by typing in tradingview.com in your browser search bar. All right. I already have it open. Then here you're going to find a search bar. Here you could type in whatever it is that you're planning on trading, whether it be cryptocurrency, stock, forex, you name it. You could search it up here, indexes, US bonds. Basically, TradingView is your place to look those things up and analyze your charts. So since we've been heavily focused on forex, we are going to look up a forex pair. So we could start with a major pair. We're going to look up GBP USD. All right. Now, here you'll have different brokers. As you can see to the right over here, each of these have a different name. All right. They're labeled differently. These are different brokers. All right. I typically select Owando or FXCM because they're closest to real time as our MT4. All right, so I'm just going to click on Owanda. My chart might have a lot of markups on it, so don't even mind, or it may not. All right, and we're going to get started. So I'm going to work off a higher time frame. I'm going to start with the daily time frame. All right, so guys, this right here is your chart. You could zoom in, you could zoom out. You could maneuver it however which way you like. So right here, this tab up here, this is your timeframes tab. So when you're trading, there's multiple different timeframes that you could trade off of or make your analysis from. We have the monthly, we have the weekly, we have the daily time frame, we have the 4 hour, 1 hour, 30-minute, 15-minute, 5-minute, and 1 minute. Now, I know you're probably wondering, like, there's other time frames in between here. Yes, there are, but the ones that I mentioned are typically the time frames that we use as forex traders. Not saying that you can't look at these other time frames, but typically most traders look, you know, between the 4 hour and 1 hour, 30, 15, 5, and 1. So that's pretty much at your discretion or your choice what time frame it is that you'd want to look at to do your assessment of the market. Right beside this time frame, so of course if you change time frames, it's going to have that, you know, symbol here. So if we change to the 1 hour, it's going to say 1H. If we change it to the 1 minute, it's going to say 1M. If we have it on the daily, it's just going to say D. If we have it on the weekly, it'll say W. But I just want to show you guys how to navigate and find these options when you are using TradingView on your own. Okay, right here, the tab right beside it, this is where you can find your candlesticks. All right, some people use candlesticks. We also have a line chart. You could change your chart to a line graph. A lot of people use line graphs to identify highs and lows in the market. You know, we could get into that in a later video. We have our aerial view of the market. We also have a baseline, which, you know, I don't really use too often, but if you become familiar with it, you can certainly incorporate it into your trading strategy and repertoire. We have Fibonacci candles. These candles measure momentum in the market. We have wrinkles candles. Let me show you how these look. These are like bricks. These are also momentum candles as well. And we have a few others here, which we typically don't use. For the most part, we use line charts, regular candlesticks, and sometimes Hikinashi. All right, I'm gonna switch it back to the regular candles. Over here, this little F sign right here, this FX, if you click that, it's gonna open up a tab for indicators and strategies, okay? So here you could type in whatever indicator it is that you might want to use, or like sometimes I use the MACD, which you already see on my chart. You could type in MACD, boom, it'll come up on your chart. All right, you could X that out. If you want to remove an indicator, down here, you'll have an option to exit out to remove it. Okay. Oh, something happened here. 1 second, guys. All right. If you like to use moving averages, you could type in whatever. You could basically type in whatever indicator or strategy it is that you'd want to use. And then that would, of course, come up on your chart. See right here, we have this blue line. That's our moving average. I'm just going to remove that for the sake of this video. Also, if you did want to remove something from your chart, you could right click on that item and you can select remove. That is how you take anything that you'd want off of your chart. All right, right click, hit remove, and it's gone. Okay. So I'm just going to zoom back out. Over here to the left panel, we have our list of tools. These are, I'm going to just run through the basic tools that you need to get started. We will have a part 2 that will extend on different tools that you could use when utilizing TradingView. Like, this platform is so powerful. There's so much you could do on here. So this first tab, we have our trend line. All right. This is your trend line tab. You can measure where the trend is going. All right. If you want to change the color, for me, I have yellow. You can right click it and go to settings. See right here, you have settings, select settings, and you could change the color. You could change it to white, you could change it to blue, you could change it to pink, orange, red. Honestly, it's really your preference. It's your chart. You can make it look however you like, whatever makes you feel comfortable. You could change the thinness or the thickness of the line. I usually keep my line second to thinnest. Some people like their lines a little thicker so they're more visible. But like I said, it all goes back to preference. And we're going to click out of this right now. So that's how you draw your trend line. All right, you could draw your trend line in any direction. You could make your trend line a horizontal line. Let me remove that. This is actually an alarm that I had set in that level. I'm going to show you how to set your alarms as well. But for now, I'm going to remove it because it's kind of getting in the way. So right here, we have our line. We could draw it across. Trend lines can be drawn in any direction. Now, you see here, I'm just making a big old mess of my chart. All right. Now I'm going to show you how you could remove everything. You could remove everything at one time. You could right click on your mouse. And then there's an option here that says remove drawings. And that will take everything. That will clear your entire chart off and you can start all over again. When we go back into the same tab with the trend lines, you will be able to find another option that says arrow, which is similar to your trend line, but it will just have an arrow at the end of it. Okay. So I personally like to use the arrow for when I'm teaching and showing certain things in the market. I'll point to certain areas, but you can use this arrow as well to pinpoint and locate certain trends or things that's going on in the market. If you'd like to show that this higher low right here, you can certainly draw your arrow there. It's whatever you'd like to do with it. All right, and now once again, I'm right clicking and I'm removing all my drawings. Back in that same tab, you will have other different types of lines. Typically, we stick to the trend line and the arrow. The next line that we want to show you guys is the horizontal line, right? Now the horizontal line is used for showing your highs and low points in the market. This is your support and resistance levels, okay? So once again, if you want to customize these lines, you would right click it, go to settings. You could change the color of your line, of course. You could change the thickness of it as well. It's whatever you'd like to do. See how thick it got? Now I'm drawing it down till it's thin. I personally like my horizontal lines thin so they don't get too much in the way and clash with my candlesticks. But hey, it's your chart. Make it look fun. Have fun with it. You know, trading is supposed to be fun. You're supposed to enjoy it. So customize your chart however you'd like to customize it. Also here, if you want to add some writing, like let's say right now we're looking at our resistance level. So you'd want to say break and close above here. These are just little notes for yourself as you're trading. It's good to keep notes on your charts so you can have reference points in the market. So you could put there, break and close above here. Let's say you wanted to edit it. Once again, you could go back to settings, right click and edit it. You could change the font, make it larger. You could make it bold. You could italicize it. I'm gonna slide this over so you could see. You could make it regular or you could just have it italicized. Customize it, have fun. This is your chart. I'm gonna turn it white. You could turn it yellow, make it green, whatever you'd like. Also here, this is an opacity button. You could also make it lighter, more transparent, or make it darker. Of course, if you want to see what you're saying, you'd want it with a darker opacity. Okay. Also with our horizontal line, we can click on coordinates. So let's say there's a particular level, like let's say I'm pointing at 1.5500. Sometimes you might plot your trend line. I'm sorry, I said trend line, your horizontal line, and you might want it at this level. You might have clicked here and it dropped there, but you really want it up here. You can actually go to coordinates and type in 15500. Or if you're trading with somebody and they say, hey, I'm looking at GBP USD to make a move around this level, right? You can also go back to that line and adjust it. You can right click, go to settings, go to your coordinates and type in whatever coordinate. Let's say they're like, okay, we're looking at the 1.500 level. You could type that in and we see that our line has just adjusted and went downward. Also here in the middle, you could adjust the line yourself. You could simply just move it. You just have to click it. Once you see that little dot pop up on that horizontal line, you can move it around accordingly. Okay. You can certainly move that line up and down how you like. So let's move along. You also have your horizontal ray. The horizontal ray is just like our horizontal line, but it is just a half of it. And you can adjust it however far you want. If you just want it over here in this zone, you can literally just plot instead of having the whole entire horizontal line going across your screen and you're only focusing on this particular zone, like right here, I'm only focused on this zone right here. You would literally come over here to your toolbar over here, click on horizontal ray and mark out this zone. Instead of having your whole line going across, you could literally mark out that zone. You could draw it over further. Let's say I wanted the resistance only right here in this area, but I want this one to stretch all the way over here. You can do that as well. All right. And of course, you can adjust the colors accordingly, like I showed you in the settings toolbar. Now, another thing I'd want to show you too is some of these you might notice that I have stars next to them. Basically, you could create something called a shortcut. right? Up here, if you look over here, I have a shortcut tab right up in over here. Now, when you click on the star next to all of these, they become your favorite, and then they'll get added to your toolbar. So instead of always having to come over here in our toolbar section, you have a shortcut of tools over here. These are my most used tools. So I have them specifically there, so I don't always have to keep searching through the toolbar over here to the left. Right here, you also have a vertical line. Sometimes I use a vertical line when I am back testing strategies to look back in the past. Or if I'm just looking at a particular area, like what price did between here and here, I might just drop a vertical line up in there just to keep me a little more organized. So like I said, this is your chart. It is what you make it. Okay. Moving along, over here we have some more tools. Honestly, I don't really use much of these tools in this section. The most popular tool that I use out of this area is the Fibonacci retracement. I'm going to erase everything off my chart. Again, once again, right click, remove drawings. I'm going to zoom out. And I'm going to select my Fibonacci tool. Of course, it's starred because I use that often. And I'm going to measure from high to low to high. All right. And this is my Fibonacci tool. All right. You could draw it from any direction. You could draw it from low to high. You can grab it again, draw it from high to low. So this is how you use your Fibonacci tool. Sometimes if you plotted it the wrong way, you can actually just take that corner and flip it to the direction that you wanted it to go. All right. So this is looking a little crazy. I personally don't do that often. I know people that do, but for the most part, I'll just delete it and I will just draw it over again. So it's drawn properly and accurately. Sorry, guys. I want to be drawn properly and as most accurately as possible. All right, next item that we use from our toolbar is over here is the brush. I like to use the brush. Sometimes when I'm teaching, I may use it to draw out certain areas. Sometimes if I don't feel like using my trend line, I might just draw, a little makeshift trend line. It may not be the neatest, but sometimes when I'm moving quickly, I'll just use it to reference a certain area. So you can use your brush. If you feel comfortable using that, go right ahead. Of course, when you use a trend line, you get a more straighter, precise line, but I typically use the brush for teaching purposes. But it's your chart. It is what you make it. Same thing with the highlighter. It just gets drawn on a little thicker. Okay. And of course, you could right click it and adjust it accordingly. You could change the color of that one if you wanted it white, if you wanted it this reddish color, this peach. It's whatever you want to do with your chart. It is what you make it. Right, could right click and I'm going to remove these drawings. Moving along, we also have a rectangle tool. I usually use the rectangle tool to mark out zones in the market. You can also use it to box out areas of consolidation. Right here, we have some consolidation in here. You could use it to box it out, or you could simply use it to mark your levels of support and resistance. So you could do a lot of things with these tools. As you get more familiar with TradingView, you'll know exactly what and how to do with these tools as you're trading and going along. Right here, we have some additional tools. We have this eclipse. Sometimes I might mark an eclipse here to pinpoint a particular zone. I don't use it that often, but I do use it if I have to. It's kind of clashing there, but yeah, you could stretch it out as much as you'd like. That's your eclipse tool. All right. I'm just gonna remove that for now. Let's go back in this toolbar section here. Sometimes I might use the curve when we have like parabolic movements in certain currencies that we're trading. Sometimes the currency might just fly up, and we'll use that curve to look at the parabolic movement of that tool, but that's only in some scenarios. This is another form of a trend line, but it's just curved. Okay, I'm gonna remove that. Right here, you have your text. All right, so these are little different indications that you could use when you're marking up your chart. Let's say I want to say watch for sells in this zone. Watch for sells in this zone. These are just little tools to help yourself as you're trading along. These are just little tools. I could add another one. I could put this one down here. See, it says text. You double click it. Look for buys in this zone. All right. So I know when price comes into this zone, I'm gonna look for buys. Now, let's say you could put it here inside your box. Let's say I did want to remove my box. I could take that off and just leave this here. Look for buys in this zone. Simple as that. Now, let's say you accidentally deleted something off of your chart. There is this arrow up here where you could press back. You can press this back button and it can bring back what you just did. It's literally like a replay. Fast forward, we'll take it off. We're gonna put it back for now. Okay. Moving along. And here we have our different patterns. Some people trade off of ABC patterns. Some people use some of these tools for head and shoulders, Elliott wave. We'll definitely tap into that at a later time and in a later video, going more in depth with TradingView. Once again, this is just a basic tutorial to kind of give you a general idea of how to use TradingView. But as you get better, you can definitely use more of these technical tools that TradingView has available for us. All right, I think I might have clicked something. Here in this tab, we have our long and short position tools, which I like to use. I use these basically when I'm getting into a trade to help me manage my risk a little better. And so I'm not monitoring my MT4 so much. I'm more so looking at my chart. So let's say I got into a short position. And of course, you know, short means to sell. I'm going to remove this for now. Whoop, that just dropped down. Actually, I'm going to just slide that over for a second. I'm going to zoom in and show you how to use this tool. So this basically helps you with your risk to reward ratio. So right now we see that price is breaking off of a zone. I want to risk X amount of pips right here. And I want to get into the position there. And I anticipate that price is going to come down to these levels here. So that is how you would use your long and short tool. Right here, we're using it in a short position, which means we're selling the market. If we were buying the market, I'm just going to shift that aside a little. If we were buying the market, we would be using the long position tool. We'd plot it right here. We'd plot it right here. Stop loss down here. Of course, you want to use proper risk management. This is simply an example that I'm showing you on how to use this tool. Boom, stop loss is down here. Our entry was right here in this zone over here. And we see that this position ran well into take profit. All right. So this is just a way to help us manage our risk and to see where our trade is going. Okay, so that is our long short position tool. You can find it here in this section of your TradingView. Okay, now here I have that little dollar sign there, but these are also little tools that you could use when you're utilizing your chart, marking up your chart. Let's say you have an arrow right here, you're looking for something to happen there. Boom, you put your arrow there. Let's say you had your zone up here and you're waiting. These are just little simple tools to help you remember and identify things a little easier and just make your trading a little bit more easier. So utilize these tools to the best of your abilities and however which way you see fit for yourself. Right here, we have our ruler to the left. Basically, this ruler is used to measure your pips, right? We're going to measure from the body of this candle up to this high. And as you can see, that is over 2,000 pips right there. That's over 2,000 pips. You can see the number of pips right here in this section of the measuring tool. I call this a ruler, you call it the measuring tool, but that's basically how you use your ruler. If you want to measure from here to here, you line it right up, boom. Now, one thing I forgot to mention, my cursor is in a crosshair on the chart. And I like it that way because it helps me from a bigger distance to identify support and resistance levels. So before I even plot it, I kind of have an idea because I see these dashed lines. So I kind of just measure it up with it. Then I grab my horizontal tool and then I plot it. All right. But over here to the left, you have the cross. That's your crosshair. You can use a dot. You can use an arrow. All right. If you just like your general arrow, you could use your arrow. You could use a dot. Right. A dot. But I like to use the crosshair. And a lot of my students have grown to like using the crosshair as well. All right, so one more thing before we wrap up on this brief introduction tutorial on how to use TradingView. We have over here a camera. I'm like, what is this camera for? This camera is to take screenshots of your chart. Now, you can create you could take a screenshot of your chart. It could be, you could save your chart image, and this is wonderful when you're working with a team to kind of show them where you are, where you're trading, what you're looking at, etc. I send out charts to my team all the time, and what I'll do, I'll click this and I will copy the link as a URL, and then I'll send it over to my Telegram. All right, guys, don't forget to join our Telegram group. The link will be in the description below. We hope to see you all there as well. If I am back testing my strategy, I will also do the same thing because you want to see what happened before and you also want to analyze and see what happened after. So you would click copy link, or you can just take a copy of the chart, or you could save the image, whatever you feel most comfortable with. You could link your Twitter account. And if you have a Twitter audience, you can share your chart markups with Twitter. Okay. As you become more skilled or even not so skilled, TradingView also has a big trading community. You can, let's say this is our markup here. This is literally just an example, guys. I'm not going to publish this. You can click publish and you can publish your trade idea, right? You can also do a video recording of your trade idea as well. And you might get some comments, you might get some likes, you might not get nothing at all, but you could throw it out there and see what other people are thinking and see how others are viewing the market. It's always good to be a part of a trading community because it helps you to get better. All right, so that's our publishing tool. If you want to expand this screen, you could certainly expand your screen to a much more wider screen. But of course, when you do so, you know, your tab of your toolbar over here is gone. So it's good to have this shortcut toolbar up here so you can still maneuver your chart although you're in full screen mode. All right, and in order to get out of full screen mode, you just hit the escape button on your desktop computer or laptop. Okay. Another thing that you could utilize over here, we have different layouts. So if I was to click this button here, you can do a split screen. Sometimes if you're looking at correlating pairs, which means pairs that trade with each other, you might want to have two screens open. I'm not saying that GBP USD correlates with Euro NZD. I just opened it and that's what was there. All right, so you can split it that way, you can split it this way. All right, top and bottom. You can split it 3 ways. You could add in a third chart. All right. It does get a little crammed. If you're working off of a bigger monitor, it might not be so bad. But if you're working off of a one screen, you may not want to do this. I mean, you can, but hey, it's all preference, guys. Make it fun. It's your chart. All right. And another thing I like to show you guys is, let's say for myself, I like the black background. It's the contrast is just better on my eyes, so I like black. But if you did want to, a lot of times when we sign up for TradingView, they will have you in a white screen. Your background will be white. You could hit settings, right click anywhere on your chart, select settings, and over here, right here, you could change your candlestick colors. Okay, you could change the appearance. Over here, you'll have background. Okay, and you could change your background color. There are some times I might change my background different colors. Just make sure you're still able to see your candlesticks with whatever background it is that you choose. You could do a two-tone color. There was a point in time I was doing like the two-tone look on my chart. Sometimes you get tired of the same look. You just want to switch it up sometimes. You could change to blue, peach, orangey, red, yellow, whatever color. But you see these lighter colors kind of clash with my candlestick. So at that point, if you're going for a lighter gradient, you would certainly want to change the colors of your candlestick so you're able to better see your chart and manipulate your chart. But I'm going to change this back to black. Here you also will have vertical and grid lines. Right, you will have grid lines. Sometimes our charts will have these lines like this. You can decrease the opacity and then change them to another color so they don't clash with your chart. Okay, same thing, you will have horizontal lines. They will certainly be much bolder. They might be like around like this level, as you can see. Some of our charts will have that. When you first sign up for TradingView, you can right click, come in here, turn it to, let's say your background on your chart is white. All right, I'm gonna just change this to white for now because that's how most people's charts are when you first make TradingView. All right, you will have these dark lines. You'll have lines there. You're just gonna change the opacity. Just bring it down. All right, so it is what you make it, guys. You don't have to make your chart black because mine is black. Hey, I like black. I think it's cool. Let me see if there's anything else in this section. Not quite. So let's move on to, let's back it up one more time. We're gonna right click, go to our settings, and then you're gonna go to symbols, which is your candlesticks. You have your body, your border, and your wicks. I'm gonna zoom in a little so you can see quickly how you can change the colors of your candlesticks. Right click, settings. Now let's say I wanted all my candles this reddish color. I could change everything to red. The border around it, red. The wick, red. Okay. Right, and now all my candlesticks are red. I know some people that only trade with the candlesticks the same color because it blocks out the noise. Because we have one buy, one sell, one buy, one sell. So some people actually keep all their candlesticks the same color to help them identify more of the trend and not get so caught up in the buy, sell, buy, sell. You see the overall movement and direction, and you see the chart patterns a lot better. Like right here, we have a flag, right? I'm just gonna pull my trend line from my toolbar. Right here, we have a flag, right? So sometimes people keep their charts without the lines. I'm sorry, without the multiple candlestick colors. because it also helps them identify patterns much quicker in the market. Boom, look at that. Look at our bearish flag pattern right here. Okay. Listen, guys, flags are never perfect. Okay. You can never have like the perfect flag. You just have to be able to spot and identify these flag patterns. But we're gonna change that back. If you did want to make your candlesticks all one color, that is how you would make them one color. You could also customize them up a little bit. Let's say you wanted your wicks white, but the body red, you could certainly do that. Look, now my wicks on my candlesticks are white. Okay. I'm gonna go back again. Let's say I wanted the border a different color. Let's say I wanted it green. I could change the border of those candlesticks to green. As you can see, some of them here have those green borders. Okay. So it is what you make it, guys. I'm gonna just turn them back to my regular green color. But these are the options that you have. Like, it's so cool. You could customize and play around with your trading view. Okay. So guys, overall, this was just a general tutorial on how to use TradingView. This is for my newer students. And if you did just need a little refresher on how to use TradingView, this was a great video to watch. Don't forget to like this video, comment on this video, share this video with somebody that you may know. Subscribe to our channel, Elements to Elevate, and don't forget to join our Telegram group. We are trading, we are going live daily. The group is growing and we hope to see you guys there. And until next time, YouTube, stay well.